Normally I been outside making these videos, but today I'm in the house. It's kind of cool outside and it's raining. So it's cold and it's wet. And I'm still battling this cold that I got. I'm at the end of it, but I don't want to go back out there and it flare back up. But anyway, whatever. So what I want to talk about, or what I want to address on this video, is, and it's still a part of my testimony concerning Pastor Dow Straightway and my journey to Straightway. So I know it's been a lot of things said about Pastor Dow taking people money. Pastor Dow is taking people money. Straightway, they taking people money. All that. But nah, Pastor Dow don't even, from my experience, my testimony, that Pastor Dow don't even ask people for money. So have you ever been in one of those situations where, like in your entire life, was that you appreciated a person so much that you wanted to get them something, even with you knowing that they ain't gonna take it, and you still give it to them anyway? And they say, nah, you don't have to give me nothing, but you give it to them anyway. So it's something to be said about that. And when people say Pastor Dow take people money, what do you have to say about the people that freely gives? Like, you take that tabernacle. I didn't lift a hand. I didn't lift a finger to do any work building that tabernacle. I didn't give any money to buy the material to build a tabernacle. I didn't lay the carpet. I didn't buy the carpet. I didn't buy the chairs. I don't pay the electric bill that I plug my phone, or I use the electricity to charge my devices with. None of that. I didn't build a dining hall. I didn't buy the material to build a dining hall. I didn't help build a dining hall. I didn't buy the carpet. I didn't help lay the carpet. I didn't buy the table, the chairs that I sit down in to eat at. None of this. None of this. But I go every Shabbat and I enter into the tabernacle. I sit down in chairs that I didn't buy. I go to the dining hall. I sit in chairs that I didn't buy. I sit at tables that I didn't buy. And I eat food that I didn't buy and that I didn't prepare or help prepare. So you think that I'm not going to give freely? And that's just that part of it. But y'all using Pastor Dow to open up my understanding to the word. And I got a chance to make it to the kingdom. I got a chance to make it to the kingdom. And I see the work that this man is doing. I see the work that this man is doing. How could you deny it? How could you not want to give? I mean, I used to give my money to everything. I used to, out in the world, I used to give money to whatever situation I felt like, whether it was necessary or unnecessary, whatever that pleased me, whatever I wanted to do, including the church. I used to give my money to the church and then get nothing. Now you give your money to the church and your lights get turned off. Man, them people ain't finna. If they do give you some money to get your lights back on, man, it's gonna be a whole lot of shit behind that. Like for real. And it better not happen again. Or if your car break down. Let your car break down. Oh, they'll send the church van or the church bus or whatever, the church vehicle to come pick you up on Sunday. But when you gotta go to work through the week, man, them people ain't shit, man. Them people ain't got nothing to do with that. They ain't, man. Listen, man, they business is Sunday. Anything outside of that, man, financially, man, them people ain't finna give you nothing, but you go and give your money to them. You go and give your money to them every Sunday. Shit, like, man, them folks take a Sunday school offering. Them before the preacher get up and preach offering. Evening service offering. Like 3 offerings. Like they take up 3 offerings a day. I know. I was there. I witnessed this. And then when you giving, them people got a certain amount that they want. So they'll count the money right in front of you. And then tell you, and we $200 short. Man, real talk, man. This shit so crazy, man. Looking back on this shit, them folk be like, man, we $200 short. I remember in Sunday school, man, them people had classes for different age groups. You had classes for different age groups. And so that's like what? Man, I know that including the men had a class and the women had a class too. So I know that was every bit of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 to 7 classes every Sunday morning. About 6 to 7 classes because it was different age groups. And each one of those classes took up an offering every Sunday. And then they used to hang banners for the people who had the highest offering. And it always came down to the men and the women. It always came down to the men and the women. So they would announce how much each class raised. And if the women had raised more than the men, guess what? The men finna go back in their wallet and outdo that. And if it was announced that the men raised more than the women about to go back in their purses and pull out some more money to beat the men. Man, this shit crazy. Like, that's what they used to do. I don't know if they still do it or not because I ain't been to church in so long. But that's what they used to do. So, you can't knock somebody who want to freely give. Ain't nobody in Straightway never took no money from me. Ain't nobody never made me feel like I had to give. Nobody never. Pastor Dow ain't never made me feel like I gotta give an offering or you got to do this or you got to do that. He just ain't never made me feel like that. I'm doing this willingly. Freely. I'm giving this freely. So how could anybody say anything about that? Ain't nobody taking nobody money. Like, and ain't nobody in Straightway. I don't see nobody in Straightway that's forced to be at Straightway. Nobody. It's like during Shabbat service. Everybody who live off the land, everybody who live off the land and attend services voluntarily get up that morning and get in their car and drive out there. So it's a place that people want to be. It's a place where y'all's people is. These people are working their soul salvation out. They are working every day it's a walk to perfection. Every day you are being perfected. Every single day. It don't stop. Every single day you are perfecting yourself. And the only way you can do that is through the word. Me being out here in the world amongst the heathens, it ain't gonna do nothing for me but pull me back into the world, because it ain't no accountability out there. Everybody live their life how they think they should live. You got people that sell drugs, for example. I'ma sell drugs because this the only way I can feed my family. This the only way I can make $1. This the only way I can make some money. Man, you ain't finna do that in straight way. Man, what? You can't have that kind of mindset. You what? Like this sounds so crazy to me that people do that. You know what I'm saying? You got people who sell their body because in their mind that's the only way they can make it. That's how they can make $1. That's how they take care of themselves. That's how. Man, you ain't finna be doing that in a straight way. What? No, you gonna be held accountable. It's a structure. It's an order. It's y'all's order. It's commandment. It's a higher way of living out there. And I found that in straight way. I found that higher way to living in straight way. Because without straight way, my life was dysfunctional. I'm just gonna keep it real. My life was dysfunctional. I was married to a woman. We was together for when that marriage ended, we was together I think like 24 years. Yeah, we was together 24 years because my oldest son was 20 at the time. And we was together 4 years before we had our first son. So when the relationship was over, he was 20. And we've been together 4 years before that. And we was married, like, to me, in my mind, we was already married because she had him when she was 18, so I was 19. And by the time she was 19 and I was 20, we moved in together. And neither one of us never went back home from that time. From 19 and 20, all the way up until now. Neither one of us ever went back home. But we was together all those years, but we married. We actually got married in 2013. So from like 96, 97 to 2013, in my mind, we was already married. But circumstances happened that I'll explain later. Circumstances happened in my life that it convinced me to go get a state marriage license, because that was one thing I refused to do. I went, nah. And I let it be known because people used to ask me. And I'm like, man, we already married. We live together. We paying bills together. We having children together. We already married. Like, I didn't understand. I'm like, I don't want to pay for a wedding and a divorce. I told my pops that, and he laughed. Like, that was so funny to him. I don't know why, because I was dead serious, but my pops laughed. Because I watched him do it. I watched everybody do it. And the people who stayed together, that was married, when you looked at their relationship, it was like they wasn't even married. Like, they was like unhappy. They were just dealing with each other. Like, man, I didn't want to do that, man. I'm like, nah, I'm straight. I'm already married. But anyway, yeah, but I'm addressing this giving situation or Pastor Dial and straightway taking money. And nah, cause I'm there. I'm around. I talk to like Shep. Me and Shep have conversation. Me and Shep talk. That's another thing I done heard. Pastor Dial don't talk to people. Pastor Dial, you can't talk to people. Out of all the time, mind you, I'm just a little dude in the background. I'm just a little dude in the background. I ain't trying to be seen. I ain't jumping up in front. None of that. I'm just a little dude in the background that's serving y'all and happy to be here. And I like it like that. You know what I'm saying? So I be looking at with all the stuff Shep have to deal with. I be thinking like, why? What I need to be all up in that man's face for, man? Nah. But Shep actually, let me see. Out of all the times me and Shep has had a conversation or engaged in any kind of conversation, 95% of that time, Shep is the one who started a conversation with me. I'm just sitting around. Shep started a conversation. How you doing, Joe? Or he'll say something, and Shep real funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude, Shep funny, man. He be chilling. He cool. He'll start a conversation with you. You ain't got, man, I don't see no need to be all up in that man's face like that. I really don't. If Shep, the way I see it, Shep talk to me every time he make a video. Every time he up there preaching. Every time he could be having a conversation with somebody else and I'm around the table hearing it. He talk. I take that like this man, he talking to me because his conversation is the word. Everything, all Pastor Dial conversation is going to lead back to the word. And that's how my conversation is. That's how I try to, everything you say, everything you talk. That's why a lot of people that, like my family members, we don't talk. Because whenever we was talking, every conversation, it ain't nothing that you can bring up in conversation that don't lead back to the Creator. Nothing. Like what you want to talk about? Like, what you want to talk about? Anything you talk about, whether you trying to, like that don't be my, I don't know. Like, I don't set up, I don't wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, I'm about to call this person or I'm about to call this person. I'm about to talk to him about y'all. No, that's not how it happens. If I get a phone call or if I see somebody and we end up in a conversation, I promise you that conversation gonna end up back to y'all because it ain't nothing in this life. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Y'all is life. Y'all is like, it's a living word. Like, I can't. I just can't get that out of my mind. Like, the word is a living word. It's alive. But anyway, I'm not finna get started. But I just want to speak on this giving situation. Ain't nobody taking nobody money. What are you gonna say? What can anybody say to or about a person who freely gives, who wants to give freely? What you gonna say about that?